Hey everyone, I'm your average guide Sahil Gogna. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I invited my friend Abhinav, who is pursuing his MBA from Schulich School of Business, and we are going to discuss his journey as an MBA student and also how he decided whether he wants to continue his career in tech or he wants to switch towards the business side. So if you are a techie and you are still in dilemma whether you should go for tech or you should switch your profile to the business one, this video is for you. So without any delay, let's get started. Hi Abhinav, first of all, thanks a lot for joining the call today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Sahil.
And Abhinav, before I ask you any questions about your B School, so can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. Hi guys, I am Abhinav. I have done my bachelor's in computer engineering from back in India in Thapar University. So post that, I did 4 years, 4.5 years work in software industry as a software engineer and sometime as a product manager. And now here I am doing my MBA from Schulich School of Business here in Toronto. And I'm looking forward to get into product management post this. So yeah, that's like sweet short journey about.
And Abhinav, one thing I know about you is that you had a great tech career back in India, and also you got great international offer from the top tech company, and still you chose to pursue your MBA here in Canada. So I would like to know, like, what was the reason and thought process behind this? And the main reason I'm asking you this question is that a lot of tech grads in India, they are in dilemma that, okay, they are good with the technical skills, but they want to pursue their MBA, or at the same time, they're also confused that whether they should go for their master's program in computer science. So what was your thought process behind this? How did you choose, like, okay, still, I mean, despite of having a great technical background, you chose to be in the business program, right? So what was the thought process behind this?
All right. So I guess it boils down to a couple of factors. So I don't think it's a very binary thing that, you can either go for this or that. So you have to introspect yourself and see what aligns with your long-term goals. So what happens is that, as we have seen that just after fourth year, after completing the degree, students go for master's programs or maybe directly for MBA programs. But by that time, I believe that you don't have enough exposure. You haven't worked in the industry. You don't know how the industry works like. Maybe you have completed your bachelor's in computer engineering or any other domain, but you really don't know how it will end up for you, right? So I believe that it is important to work in the industry for a bit, maybe a couple of years, and then decide where to go. So in my case, what factors played a role was that I was inclined towards software engineering, definitely, but then I was simultaneously inclined towards a management side too. So how I explored that interest, or how I came about to realize that, okay, this is something that I like it. So I was leading a student body in university. After that, I was also leading a venture a while back in college. So I ran a venture for a couple of years. So that slowly increased my interest towards the business side, that okay, I want to learn this, or maybe I want to do my own business sometime down the line. So that's how it started. And then while working in the industry too, I was working with product managers, I was working with different stakeholders. So there also I realized that, okay, I would not want to stay into maybe stay in tech, but not especially in the coding segment specifically for long, right? So even when I got the international offer, I evaluated the same thing. So I weighed the pros and the cons, that after 10 years, do I see myself in coding, or do I see myself running a business or in somewhere in management, right? So I got the answer that, okay, I don't want to continue in this domain, and I would want to stay in tech, but in a different capacity, right? And hence I decided to come here.
And I'm pretty sure, like, while choosing a universities, you might have considered few options for the universities in the US. So what was the main reason that you chose Canada over the US?
So I guess again, so it depends on the priorities one individual has, right? So you cannot say that, okay, US universities are good, so I'll go there. So a couple of factors come into the picture. So firstly, it is very expensive. So that was one of the major reasons for me to evaluate which universities I would want to go into. Secondly, I also wanted to see it from a long-term perspective. Like I have my friends in US, who have been struggling with the visa. So still they do, and even after 5 to 10 years, people struggle, in living there. So that was another major factor for me. So it was nothing like I wanted to come to Canada. So I applied overall, like in various regions in Asia itself, in India, Singapore, Canada, US. So I applied all the regions. So I wasn't very keen on going in a specific region. It was rather choice for a university that I would want to go into a uh, university which is a top one, or come amongst the top universities in that specific region. So here in Canada, Schulich is one of the good B schools. It is in, like, you can say, top three schools, top five schools. So that was one of the major reasons I chose Canada here.
And Abhinav, if we talk specifically about the Canadian region, so which other universities did you consider, and which other university would you consider good to pursue MBA here for the candidates from India?
Okay, so I wasn't really aware of what other universities are really good, but I have realized after coming here that there are a couple of universities who are you know good in MBA, or rather business management career.
Mhm.
So, firstly, I applied for Rotman and Schulich only. I did not apply for any other school, but definitely, like, Ivy has a 1 year MBA program, so that is something one can consider. I did not apply considering that I am coming from a completely different background, which is a software background, and want to transition into a business domain. So 1 year MBA doesn't give me an opportunity to experience, do an experiential learning, or rather the internship that we might have in a 2 year program. So that's why I didn't apply to Ivy, but Ivy, Schulich, Rotman, then Sauder, McGill. So these are like a couple of good schools which people can apply to if they want to.
And Abhinav, if we talk specifically about the Schulich School, so what were the admission requirements, and how did you build your profile to get an offer from such top university or B school?
Okay, so mostly schools have similar requirements. So firstly, you need to have your GMAT or a GRE score, right? Then you need to have your academics. Obviously, they need your academics. They need your essays. So B schools require essays. So in masters, you are again required some essays or statement of interest. In B
Okay.
schools, there are specific essay prompts. Maybe why do you want to join Schulich, or what will you bring to Schulich, right? So something like that. So there are a couple of questions that they'll ask you in the form of essay. There will be what else? So there'll be your corporate experience and journey. So they'll evaluate that. So it's a holistic evaluation of all the components that you have had, and extracurriculars play a major role here. It is not like extracurriculars won't play a role. You are just good in academics and you will get into a university. That won't be happening. And it's not just about Schulich. It's about any good B school in the world. So these are all the components, and apart from that, I guess, so after you clear the stage one, so this is the stage one. After you clear this, school usually invites you for a video interview. And if school considers that, okay, this candidate is good enough for the school, they go ahead with, offer roll up.
And what exactly is discussed in the video interview that you just mentioned? So, is it something that they discuss the technical one because you are coming from a technical background, or they just test you upon your skills, or like what exactly we as a candidate can expect from those video interviews?
So, okay, so from video interview, one can expect that it will be more of a behavioral round, right?
Mhm.
So when I say behavioral, it means that they'll maybe ask you questions like, have you experienced conflict while working in your team, or have you led a team? Can you give us an example of that? So something like that. So that's one aspect, and another can be some situational questions like. If you were in this situation, what will you do? If you were to lead a team and somebody is not willing to work with you, what will you do? Right. So those kind of questions, which are hypothetical questions. And thirdly, obviously, your profile based questions. So you might have submitted them a resume or your essays, your general application details regarding your academics work experience. So they'll just probe you on that and get to know more about you as a candidate, that whether you fit the school, whether you are the person you are there in the essays.
Mhm.
So they'll evaluate that. So basically, that's pretty much about it, and that usually goes for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes maximum. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's more about the profile building, like overall profile building, if you want to land into the top B schools. Because today I had a live session and students were constantly focusing on just the CGPA factor. So they were just asking like if they want to get into the top universities. So they have like around 7.5 or 8 CGPA, which they consider is less as compared to the the requirements for the top universities. But what
Hmm.
I'm getting from your experience is that it's more about the overall profile building. So what type of experiences you have, what type of professional experiences, or what type of personality you have, right? So I think
Right.
that CGPA is just one factor of the profile building, and students should also focus on the other things that you have just explained us, like which are required for.
De- Definitely. So it's like CGPA, definitely, like there might be a minimum cutoff score
Mhm,
for every school that they might have put on the website. But apart from that, all these things matter, and it's a holistic view of the profile of the candidate. It's not like focused on a one bucket. So
mhm.
it's like multiple buckets: your score, your academics, your work experience, your extracurricular. So all the four buckets matter.
And I mean, if we talk about the current situation, so we are back into the pandemic time, and everything is going back to online again. So there was a phase when we were expecting the things to go back offline. But if we talk about your program, and I think it's still online, and you are attending most of your lectures online, do you feel that it's worth pursuing an MBA online? So what is your current experience? Are you able to, fully learn everything what you were expecting from the MBA program?
So I would say that firstly, my program for the first term was like hybrid. So
Okay.
I had roughly, you can say, 50 to 60% of the classes in person
Mhm.
and 30 to 40% online.
Okay.
So it was a good mix of it, and I won't say that it affected the you know the progress or how it should have been. I
Mhm.
didn't really feel that. But yeah, if it's entirely online, it will definitely hamper the progress or how the experience should be. And now coming on to the question that whether one should consider doing it completely online. Again, it depends on personal situation. So if a person has a any constraint, like they want to go ahead and just go and complete their studies, then definitely they can't just wait for it, right? We never know that when it will end or whether it will or not. So they have to evaluate on their personal opinion. So there can be multiple factors, like you have your corporate experience building up. So there might be a possibility that after 7 years or 10 years or 12 years of experience, you might not be able to get into the same B school because they'll consider you more like an executive candidate, right?
Mhm.
So that's also a factor that comes into play. So age, maybe your work experience, maybe your personal preferences, your family situation. So all these things will come into play, and I guess it more boils down to a personal situation rather than a generic opinion.
And if we talk about the fees for your B school, so how much you are paying for your program, and is there any scope of scholarship?
So fees here at Schulich is roughly, you can say, uh, around 30 lakhs per year.
Mhm.
That's what the fees is, and that's just the tuition fee. So your living expenses is above and beyond that, right? So overall, I guess it will come to somewhere around, so 2 year tuition fee 60, and maybe your living expenses included somewhere close to 80, I guess.
Mhm.
So that's my estimation at least. So, and in terms of scholarship, yes, there are scholarship with every B school, but again, it depends on the personal profile, how strong your profile is, right? And depending on that, usually school gives the scholarship. So here, like I know people that who have scholarships. So there are different kind of scholarship. There's scholarship on the basis of merit. There's scholarship on the basis of need. There's scholarship on the basis of you know there are Forte Fellow scholarship, which are specifically for women, right?
Okay.
So there are multiple scholarships that are there with every B school, and candidates usually do get that.
And Abhinav, before we end our conversation, any final advice to our viewers, and any way they can reach out to you so that if in case they want to get their profile evaluated, or some kind of help they can ask from you.
So my advice to your viewers will be that they do one should not hurry to make a decision that they want to go for MBA. They should properly evaluate that decision, because it's a big decision and it's probably going to be your last academic education you are going to have, right? It is not like you are going to have PhD after this, or like 90% of the people, 99% of the people won't have that. So it's very worthy to evaluate that what you want to do. Take some time out of your, maybe your corporate journey or your college life, that whether you want to go ahead with this or not. And yeah, that's my 2 cents about it. And if the people want to reach out, so maybe so I run a small service kind of thing on like a sidekick. So it's called Protonate. So this is the website, protonate.com, right? So here basically your viewers can come for profile evaluation, or if they're preparing for MS or MBA application, I can help them with this. And there is a team that is there, so I'm not the only person. I'll just come to that. And apart from that, there's B School interview preparation program, where they can if they need help regarding the preparation for the interview specifically. And apart from that, like so resume review and LinkedIn brand building is not something that is required specifically for MS and MBA, but in general to every individual who is in corporate, whether doing the studies. So everybody needs a good resume and a LinkedIn brand. And I cannot emphasis on this, because whenever you apply, your resume is going through application tracking system, ATS system, right? So there are keywords, certain keywords, or certain format it is searching for. And if you don't come across that, if the system doesn't come across that, it will reject the application. So if they want to get done with that, I can help with that. And that's you can book an appointment with me through this calendar. And from our team, so usually our team is basically from all over the world, from various companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and from schools like ISB in India, Schulich here as part of York University, University of Toronto, INSEAD, JP Morgan. So our team is diverse team, and if anybody wants to reach out, they can either mail or can reach out to me through my calendar, or they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. So they can search me with my name, Abhinav Gar, or my handle is Abhinav G on LinkedIn.
Thanks a lot, Avina, for your valuable time and sharing your valuable experience with the viewers. I'm pretty sure this will help a lot of viewers. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much, Sahil.